Hi fantasy managers, and welcome to FPL Team Talks. In this video I'm going to go through my updated wildcard for game week 6. I'm going to talk you through some of the changes I've made. No doubt there'll be more changes to come as well. The reasons for why I've made those changes and a few of the other options we'll look at the end as well. So if you enjoy these sort of videos, please give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe. And in the meantime, let's take a look. So on screen is my team that I had the last time I went through my wildcard side, which was at the weekend and was pretty much just before all the games had kicked off. So I'm not going to go through in any detail all the individual choices I have made. You can go back and watch that video by all means to have a look at some of their stats. But things have changed since the weekend a little bit. But I did press that trigger quite early on, and I've tried to get on some of the prices as soon as I can. So depending on the side that you pick and some of your existing players, it may be that you're more or less money than I have to play with. Now, some of the changes I've made over the weekend are these. Vlad Marson has come out, and I'll go through reasons why in a minute. I've taken out Gibson. I've gone out without Konsa, and Pedro Porro, and Guardiola come out as well. So there's a few different changes that I've made, and I'm going to go through some of the players that I've brought in. The ones that have stayed, I think I've got the three Arsenal players seem fairly obvious to me. I've got to go Raya, Gabriel, who has now gone up in price, and you'll see that at the end. That is the price I bought him in for. Trent stays. I still think he is great value, and so attack him. Midfield-wise, I think Rodgers for his value has to say, as does Smith Rowe, and then Buemo just nailed on Brentford, 90 minutes pens, got to bring him in. And Saka is the other Arsenal player. You could go for Havertz, but I quite like Wood and Jackson up front, especially now that Wood seems to be on pens. And given that Morgan Gibbs-White's out for at least the next game, we'll wait and see what the charges are and whether it extends beyond that. But Wood was on penalties when he was on the pitch anyway, so he's in. Nicholas Jackson just looks great, and Haaland is going nowhere. So I'm now looking at three different defenders and a midfielder. The defender I could possibly go for, I do quite like, is Lucas Digne. He continues to keep his place, and he started every game this season. The only caveat I'll put to that is he did come off at half time when Bailey came on, but I don't think he's in danger of losing his place. I do feel a little bit cautious. If any Villa fans out there that know better than that, please let me know. But his underlying stats look fantastic. 0.51. He's got 2 assists already this season, and the fixtures look decent to Villa. I'm not sure there's a huge amount of clean sheets. Away at Ipswich, possibly Man U, Fulham, Bournemouth, not the worst fixtures at all. You could see 1 or 2 clean sheets in there, but there's not many clean sheets in general going round. So I do think for his attacking potential, he's got to come in. I do like him. 4.6, happy to pay that for him. One of the other defenders looked into Sepp Vandenberg, 4 million. This feels a little bit, I wouldn't say punt is the right word, but he has started the last 2 games. He got bought on deadline day from Liverpool for quite a lot of money, 30+ million pounds, and he's even hit out since then about the fact that they sort of hindered his progress. They didn't, not playing him, not getting any game time. And so I don't see how he's going to Brentford to just play again on the bench. I think, not that there's any guarantees he plays, but definitely when they have that back 5, he's a part of that. My only concern is that Collins and Pinnock are quite well established. Does Pinnock stay and Collins stay, and he just sits back on the bench when they're playing sides and they go 4-4-2, which they tend to do against not perhaps the top side. So West Ham, Wolves, you expect them to go back to that flat back 4. Does Vandenberg come in for 4 million? I'm almost prepared to take a punt. I don't think he's gone there to sit on the bench. That was my main sort of takeaway from all the stuff I've read about him. Again, any Brentford fans, maybe you know more than I do, but for Sepp Vandenberg, he's not locked into this side, but I am very interested in at 4 million. If he does play, what a great price that is for a Brentford side that have decent defence anyway, but great fixtures. The other one I've gone for is Pedro Porro. I don't think it takes too much sort of explaining. His underlying stats are pretty good. He's got 1 goal, he's got a bit of a goal threat, and he's obviously got that assist threat. I'm not sure Tottenham are the greatest defensively. I'd say they'll probably look a bit more solid than they did last year, but again, he's just got such attacking threat. Plays every game. I know he's going to be absolutely nailed. The fact that he's gone up in value does make me want to keep him, straight enough. I don't know if that's the right thing for me to be feeling. If I didn't own him, I don't think I'll be bringing him in for 5.6. I'd just pay the extra 0.4 for Vardiol. Maybe that tells me I should bring in Vardiol nonetheless. But I don't get the headache with Vardiol. Pedro Porro, that he's not going to play. So I just think Pedro Porro nailed. He's gone up in value. I'll protect that. And I think some of his stats look decent. The fixtures look okay. In terms of actually, statistically, in terms of goal conceded, they're actually third in the table. I know it's only a short data sample, but they've played away at Newcastle, home to Arsenal at times. So actually, their underlying stats defensively are pretty good. Porro, we know, is so attacking. So I'm just happy to bring him in. I think I'm going to bring him in over Vardy, and I just know he's going to play every week. The next one I'm going for, wow, I mean, I don't think, unless you support Southampton, I don't think you'd be bringing this player in. And you know what? I'm self-indulgent. He's 4.5. He is a brilliant player. Scored a weekend, got the bonus points. I just think for 4.5, he is an enabler. And numbers look good. It is a small sample size. I consider him to be pretty nailed. He's probably Southampton's best player at the moment. Fixtures aren't great. Playing away at Bournemouth, at home to Leicester, wouldn't have any issues playing him. But I just think away at Arsenal, Man City, he is just going to be that 8th attacker that sits on the bench. I could upgrade to a McNeil. There are, not a huge amount of options I could go for. But in terms of creating big chances, Southampton are up there. They're 10th in terms of XG, even though they've only got 2 goals. It is a fact they just play for Southampton that is just putting me off a bit. But 4.5, guaranteed midfielder who plays attacking, decent on the stats. Not going to be many of those around. And yeah, you know what? I keep sort of knocking myself for it. And I think, fantasy football is there to be enjoyed, to take pleasure out of. And Tyler Tiblin, if he gets returns, I don't think anything's going to give me more pleasure than that. And that's one of the reasons why I'm going for. I'm not suggesting everyone does. But if you need an enabler, and you've already got Rodgers and Smith Rowe, Diblin, it is an indulgent. I don't think I'm going to convince many people to go for him, and I'm not sure you're even trying. I just think for a bit of fun and what I enjoy fantasy football, Tyler Diblin is going to get in the side for me. This wildcard side, then, it could be, this is with the updated prices. The likes of Gabriel's gone up, Porro we talked about, and Buemo, Smith Rowe, Rodgers, Wood, and even Jackson and Haaland. So there's lots of price changes. This side's actually got 1.2 million in the bank, so you could easily upgrade if you wanted to someone like a Pedro Porro, a Diblin. But it does give you a bit of flexibility. I am looking at later on, perhaps when perhaps Wood can come out or Jackson's fixtures look a little bit tougher. I could go to someone else after that, maybe an Ollie Watkins or something. I do have a bit of flexibility in terms of that money in there. But this is, at the moment, my side. I don't think it's going to be there exactly the same side when it comes to deadline day. But for the time being, this is what I've got in place. That's it for this one then, guys. Let me know in the comments below who you are bringing into your wildcard. Are there any players that I am overlooking? Who do you think is essential that I should be putting into that side? We'll come back at you with a team selection before the deadline. Confirm who I'm going to put in my wildcard side. Until then, good luck, take care, speak to you soon.